talk about your visuals really quickly. One, you saw a couple examples in those videos that you saw. What I liked about both of those is they were interactive. So like the girl kept adding things or taking things away. The boy kept like flipping through different things. Yours does not need to be that intense. Obviously their videos are way longer than yours and not exactly what you need to do, but these are excellent examples, both of those. So if you need to rewatch that video, that's fantastic. You're going to get 10 points as of right now for your visual. You can also bring in your product, but to be clear, you also need a visual. So if I'm selling, those things that you like turn upside down and they make a moo sound like a cow. I don't know why that was the first thing I thought of, but if that's what I'm selling, I can bring that in, but I also need to have some sort of visual to go with that so that people have something to look at besides just me. I know this seems like a lot of work, and it might be, but it will also take off some of the pressure of your speech, so do it well. Your visual could not be anything technology related. We want it to be actually tactile, something you can touch, just like these ones here. However, I understand that things are a little goofy, and so email me. Notice how this is highlighted. Email me if you can't get materials because of coronavirus. We will make exceptions or figure something out together. Your visual can be a trifold. There are some examples coming up that we'll look at together in a second, but it can be like a big old trifold, something that moves. It can be a poster. You can do front and back. It also can be like a handout that you hand out to everyone, as long as everyone can see it, as long as it's well written. It can be up front with you, which is what I like, or if you would rather not have that, you can do a small handout as long as there's a copy for everyone. Here's some things about visuals. Obviously, it should look professional and visually appealing. It shouldn't be like, can I say crappy? I'm gonna say crappy. It shouldn't be like crappy or like thrown together the last second. It should clearly show that you put thought and work, both of those things. So like, have it look good, but also like be intentional about what you do. Don't throw stuff on there if it's not helpful to you. We can ask me questions about that later. Obviously, it should be visible to the people in the back, so big enough that everyone can see it, or a handout that you give everyone, and then obviously they can all see that. Help the audience pay attention and remember your pitch. That's super important. This is why we're having you do it. This might be the most important one. These are not requirements, but here are some ideas. It could be interactive, fold and unfold like the ones that we saw in the video, or like sticky things like the ones we saw in the video, Velcro, tape, you can add things, you can take things away. Oh, and there's my phone going off. Fantastic. It can be handwritten or drawn. You can print things or glue things on there. I don't know what you have available at your house, so let me know if you have questions about that. It can be funny. It can be serious. I think that visuals are a great way. Here, I'll add that right now. To add facts, especially if you think that you're going to forget them. A visual is a great place to write down big, fancy numbers or anything like that. I think that's a great way to use your visual right there. It can be pictures, it can be words. I think that the most helpful thing a visual can do is have your ideas in order so you don't have to look at your note card as much. It will help you both with like hand motions and moving around and with the flow of your pitch overall. It will help you if you have a good visual so that you can refer back to that. One, it helps you keep your ideas in order so you don't have to like look at your note cards, but two, if it's an interactive thing like these ones up here, it gives you something to do with your hands, so you won't awkwardly be doing the like running your hands through your hair thing that I do a million times a day, or like fidgeting or sitting there with your hands in your pocket. So a good visual will help you with all these things. You can basically have your entire speech on there and like go through your visual. You could have your counter arguments on there if you want. Obviously, it should be clear from your visual exactly what you're selling. So without you at all, I should be able to look at it and say, oh good, today I'm going to be told that I need to buy this. So we're going to look at some examples. The video is linked here. It goes super quickly. Oh, this is the wrong one. But first of all, I just want you to know that there are some dude named Tem keeps commenting on my videos. So awesome video. Keep it up, bro. None of you have been that encouraging, so get better. This is the right one that we're looking at. So here is one example of a product. Again, I kind of go through this in the video separately, but I'll go a little bit more slowly now if that's helpful to you. This is a two-part one. So the first part, the kid who was selling cowboy boots had like the big part, fashion and function, and there's four main like types of boots. So that was one part of the visual. And then he went through, and then he later brought out this. And I like that there were 2 separate parts, and then he kind of went through some of the like really cool visual things. Obviously he's selling cowboy boots, and I like that he formatted it like a cowboy boot. Okay, I think I showed this one in class to all of my classes. Obviously I love this because it's Harry Potter, but I also love it because it's formatted like a book, and she can flip through, oops, hard to open, all the different pages. You see, like, she had some celebrity endorsements there. She had people who really loved the books, and so, like, her main ideas went, like, 1, 2, and she could keep flipping through it. Over here, she had talked about, like, the relationship some of the characters had with her, with J.K. Rowling, with the author, and so, like, friendship and stuff, inspirational characters, do you want to be a better person? And then finally, she just had some, like, quotes and ideas about, like, why you need books in general. She had a quote from a famous author, and she talked a little bit about, like, why reading books makes you a better person. So that was a great visual for a lot of reasons. This one is solid. Sorry, the video is kind of weird. I maybe should have taken pictures, but I don't want to talk about it. It's not interactive. It's just like a one sheet thing, which is fine, but also like there's not a ton of information on here, right? Like it's a beautiful drawing. She labeled some different pieces, but I don't know any of her main ideas, which again, if her speech is excellent, that's not the end of the world. But if you're someone who is nervous about the speech, or if you, yeah, I don't know. This one's okay. It's not excellent. It's okay. Great art, but like not super helpful, especially because people in the back can't see these things. Although those are pretty, so it's fine. Nothing on the back, so I'm meh about it. Ooh, boy, nailed that. Burt's Bees, I think this one is pretty good. Actually, it's, you know, we got some pictures of the product, we got some celebrity endorsements, we got some bees. It's good for the environment, all that different kind of stuff. And then some of the helpful reasons, right? So this would be like an emotional appeal. Look at that, like every second someone buys Burt's Bees chapstick. That's awesome. And then she tied that into like how Burt's Bees chapstick is like good for bees, for that's an emotional appeal. This one again is fine. Kind of small writing from the back. So that's my one critique of that one. It's not better or worse that it's like handwritten. Totally fine. This one I think is great. Obviously spent a ton of time, and I know that not all of you will have access to all of these materials, but this is like an A+ example. This person is telling you to adopt cats, and so obviously the outside even looks like a cat, which I think is brilliant. I love that it's interactive. You pull it up and you say, okay, look, here are some pros and cons right there. Here are some good things. Here are some things that people might say about my product, and then the person went on to like talk about why those things were wrong or how they were you could get around them. So I think that's great. Have some beautiful pictures of cats to like tug at your heartstrings. Oh, look, I need a cat. And then like talked about some of the main ideas. And then even on the back, had some information about like why you need to adopt a pet. I think that one's really good. Obviously, it's like A+++. I think it's great. But I like that it's interactive, and I like all those different pieces about it. So that is everything you need to know, I think, yep, about those bad boys. So, just watching some sports earlier. You know who I am. So, let me know if all of this makes sense. Your visuals are important. It will help you a lot, so do a good job, and let me know what questions you have. And I'm sorry that I put that picture of a Speedo on there. That probably was the wrong screenshot to take. Great. Email me. Let's hang out on Google. You're great. If you watch this whole video, I started a Google Doc called Candy of all the people I'm going to give candy to when we get back to school. So email me and I'll put you on the list.